Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches. Welcome to my channel where together we sew. If you're returning, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're brand new and just found me, I really appreciate you being here. If you are brand new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything, but it surely helps me out a lot, and it allows me to bring you more sew-alongs like the one we're working on today. So today we're working on my spring mystery quilt sew-along, the Secret Garden quilt, and today, as you can see by the block on the wall behind me, it's made of blues, which is like my favorite color, so I'm super excited about this one. This is the Bluebell block. Don't forget, every week that you're going to make 2 of each block. I'm going to make one with you to show you how to do it, and then you'll be on your own to make the second one. As you can see, I already made one of them, so I only have to make one more. But I like to show you kind of what you're aiming for. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see, I have all my fabrics laid out in front of me. You're going to have double the amount of fabrics because you're going to make 2 blocks. But you're going to have, I'm not going to talk about all the sizes of the fabric here because you'll have your PDF, which you can, if you haven't downloaded that pattern yet, you can go to the description box below this video and you can get the pattern right from my website. And you want to grab your large blue squares, your large white background square, the center yellow square, the small lavender, small green, and small background squares. I'm going to double check the pattern after I'm done making the video, but I think there was an oopsie this week and it actually had told you to have, I think, 3 of this size of the large background. You only need 1. I didn't realize that until after I started. Well, actually you need 2 because you're doing 2 blocks, 1 for each block. I didn't realize that I put that on there until after I started making this. So I'm going to go fix it, but some of you may download that before I get a chance to pop over there and fix it. So if that happens, know that you only need 1 of the large background square for each block. So sorry for the confusion. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so what we're going to start by doing is I'm going to put the center piece aside because we don't need that for a bit. And then I'm going to set these up here. And let's make the easiest part first. So we're going to do a 4 patch, and we've done this in at least one of the other weeks. I think 2, maybe. I can't remember which blocks we've done. We've done it at least one other week. So we're going to make the 4 patch first. So I'm going to start by attaching a white to the green and a white to the purple. And we're going to sew everything with a 1/4 inch. So right sides together. And you're going to make 4 sets of these for each block. I did already do some of them just to save some time so the video doesn't end up being really, really long, but this is what we're going to aim for. So here's one. So 1 purple and 1 green, and then I'm going to iron both of these to the colored fabric. So both of these I'm going to iron to the left. And I get asked about this pen every week, so I'll go ahead and talk about it now while I'm ironing these. This is the Acorn Precision Piecing Pen. I do sell these in my shop, and there's a link to my shop below in the description box. First, I wanted to say I don't sell anything in my shop that I wouldn't use myself. That's just for me. That's how I operate. I would never sell a product that I don't think is a good product. But I have to say that this is a product that is probably my favorite notion of any notion that you can buy to quilt with. It makes your seams, if you can see the difference here. I've already ironed this one with this pressing pen, and I haven't ironed this one, and you can see how puffy it is. It won't even lay flat compared to this one. So it's a solution that you put the first time you use it, you have to press down a couple times to make the solution get on the sponge. But after that, the sponge stays wet, and you just go right on the seam real lightly. And then you could either just directly press. I tend to finger press first and then press, but it makes those seams nice and flat. And I am not a starcher, but I do use best press on all my fabrics before I cut them. I feel like it just makes your cutting, it makes them a little bit stiff, but not like, you know, cardboard stiff. I just feel like it makes the fabrics come out much nicer when you cut. But this pen, I don't know if you guys can see how flat that got. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but they're super flat seams, and I just love how this pen makes those seams match up perfectly, or helps you to match them up perfectly. I'm still going to pin right there. But the flatter your seams are, the more accurate your sizes of your pieces are going to be. So I just love it. But I get asked about it almost every video, so I thought I'd explain it a little bit. So it's a proprietary formula, so I don't know all what's in it, to be honest. It's made in Canada, and it's a starch alternative concentrate, basically. And when you purchase this, you usually get, from me, if you purchase it from me, you get the pressing pen and the pressing liquid. Now, some places sell, they also sell a seam align glue, which is great for applique, or one gal who I was talking to, she uses it because she has arthritis, and so she actually glues all of her seams together before she sews because she can't pin. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys what I was doing here. So I laid the purple against the white, and the white from the purple block against the green. So it's a 4-patch, just like this, and now I'm sewing a 1/4 inch down here. Sorry about that. Anyway, so she uses the seam align glue because she's arthritis, and I thought, well, that's very clever. I've only ever used it for applique, but that's a clever idea. Now, so some shops sell that kit with the pen and the glue in the solution. I don't sell that one because I don't find as many quilters use the glue. More of them use the pen. So my kit doesn't come with that. But if you want that one with the glue, there's shops out there that definitely have the glue and the solution and the pen. So I'm going to press the seam on this open, just because it's really bulky here in the center. Hopefully that didn't sound like an infomercial. I'm not trying to make you guys buy things or sound like an infomercial. It's just I get asked about it every video I make. That's probably the #1 comment underneath the video, is asking about the pen. So I just wanted to give you a little bit more information about it. It's basically to help you get super flat seams. And like I said, it's like a starch alternative concentrate that you put right on the seams. It works a little bit different. I actually, to be honest with you, a long time ago, I tried putting Best Press in here and using it, and it didn't work the same. I don't know what's in their solution different than Best Press, but it doesn't work the same. I've tried. So, all right, so there's my 4-patch. And as you can see, I ironed that open, and my block is nice and flat. So I'm going to set those aside. You're going to make 4 of these per block, so 8 of these 4 patches all together, but 4 per block. Set that aside. And now we're going to do the next part of this block. So there's 2 parts. You're going to need 2 of these large blue squares per block. I'm going to talk in per block now, so you guys know that each block needs these, and then you can double it for 2 blocks. So you're going to line up a ruler that will go the whole length of your block, and you're going to cut this block on the diagonal, corner to corner, in half. So you should have 2 triangles there. Now you're going to take 2 of those and cut them in half. So you should have 4 bigger triangles per block. I already cut 1 of them. And now I'm going to do all the cutting first, and then we'll sew. I'm going to take the white large square and the last white blue square, and I'm going to line my ruler up on here, and I'm going to cut corner to corner this way and without moving the fabric. So if you've got a cutting mat that turns, without moving the fabric, I'm going to cut it this way, and then I'm going to cut it the opposite direction, both corner to corner. So here to here and here to here. So essentially we're going to get 4 triangles out of each piece. And you're going to need one of these large pieces and one of the blue and one of the large white per block. So I'm going to not move my fabric, put my ruler down. Now we are going to be trimming these down, so if it's not perfect, don't fret. Okay, so there we go. So I've got 4 blue and 4 white out of that. Okay, put my ruler aside for a minute, put my rotary cutter away for a minute. Now, it would be really helpful, and you don't have to have this. If you don't, it's fine, but it would be really helpful to have a 6.5 inch square ruler, or if you've got another ruler that can do 6.5 inches, like a 6.5 by 12.5. If you don't have those though, you can always use a bigger ruler and, you know, trim down. You'll just have to move it. But if you have one, grab it, because that'll be helpful. So, all right, let me get organized here. I'm going to put these aside. Put these white guys aside. So this is how we're going to sew these. So eventually, this block is going to turn into something that looks like this. Okay? So I'm going to, so I sew these the correct way. I'm going to put my pile of those there. And I'm going to put my pile of white. I have a tone on tone, so I'm looking for the right side up. My pile of white there, so I know what I'm looking at here. So first of all, I'm going to sew this triangle of blue to this triangle of white along these short seams right here. So I'm going to pick those up, and I'm going to start from this end rather than the pointy end. A lot of machines will suck this little pointy end down into the machine, so I advise starting on this end. And so a 1/4 inch all the way down, and when you open it up, make sure that your white is still in the same spot. I will tell you that I did have to rip one of these because I sewed it on the wrong edge, and it ended up with the white over here and the blue over here. So that's why I decided to stack them all up like this, so I kept reminding myself of which way to sew them together. So we're going to just sew all these. And after we get done sewing all these together, we'll press them and then go on to the next step in this part of the book. So now you should have these halves and these halves, and we're going to join these together. So you're going to flip that over on top of the large triangle. And there is going to be a size discrepancy. Don't freak out, it's fine, because we're going to trim these down. That's why I recommended the 6.5 inch square, because we're going to trim these down to 6.5 inches. So I'm going to finish sewing these together and then press them, and then we will trim these down to 6.5 inches, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, I've got all 4 of my petal pieces made, and now I'm going to trim them down. So I'm going to use my 6.5 inch ruler, and the nice thing that I like about Creative Grids rulers is that, which I don't know if you can see it, but there's a, between the light and the thing, there's a dot right in the middle where the center of these rulers are. It's a white circle. It's not going to show on camera, unfortunately. But I'm going to put the center of this ruler, the dot in the middle, right on the center where these intersect, where all these pieces intersect. And then I'm going to use this diagonal line on the ruler and put it on the diagonal here. And then trim this whole block. I'm actually going to stand to trim. So then you should have a block that looks like this. Nice and cleaned up, 6.5 inches square. And we're going to do that to all of these. Now I'm just going to lay this out, how we're going to sew it all together. So just like the other weeks, we're going to put this together like a 9-patch. So the purples are going to be touching the blue and the yellow. The green are going on the outside corners. and then we're going to just put these together as rows. So I'm going to sew this bottom row together, press it to the right, sew the middle row together, press it to the left, sew the top row together, and press it to the right. So that way when we put all the rows together, they nest really nicely. So here's my block all finished, and I just need to iron it and I can add it to the wall with the other one. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. Those are the bluebell blocks. Don't forget to make 2. And we have 3 weeks left. We have 2 more blocks and then the final finishing week. So really excited. We're almost there. I can't wait to see. I've seen you all posting again on social media your blocks, and I'm loving seeing them. I love seeing all the different fabrics you're picking, or even if you're sewing with the same fabric as me, I just like seeing your progress. Thank you guys so much for sewing along with me. I've had lots and lots of response on this, lots of downloads of the patterns, so I'm blown away with the response. So thank you guys so much. I can't wait for the next 2 weeks. Now, next week's has quite a few more pieces than this week, so it's going to take a little bit longer. And then the final week is probably the hardest block, but still not difficult. You know, no problem, because you have a week to get 2 blocks done. And then the week after that, we will put the whole quilt together. So I cannot wait to finish this and see how you all finish. And the cool thing about this quilt is that I have a layout for you to put it all together, but you may choose to do it a different way. And so if you do, that will be fun for me to see too. But thank you guys for sewing along with me. I hope you enjoyed the bluebell block, and I will see you next Sunday for block number 5. We're almost there. Thank you. Bye.